So here we are with another Trade Legends episode, and we have Ryan from Mirka today, and Ryan's going to tell you all about Mirka. I'm sure if you're in the painting, decorating, sort of plastering...
painting, decorating, building, dry lining. We cover a lot of different sectors, to be fair.
So you're in that particular type of business. I've heard of Mirka. It's one of those brands, the yellow branding, you know, once you've seen it, you can't unsee it. It's sort of a great presentation of a company. From whenever I've gone to exhibitions or trade shows, I've always seen the fantastic stands that you guys have there. And I think it was the painting and decorating show a couple of years ago that I was at, and I got a few product demos and different sort of like new showcases of products that I had done there when I was there, and it was it's a great brand. So I'm glad that we've got you on. Thanks. I mean, what we tend to do on the Trade Legends podcast is normally we have tradesmen and women, so we get them to take us back and tell us about how they got into the trade. But as you're a brand and you're representing the brand, could you give us a bit of history to the brand, where it came from, what year it was sort of first formed, and sort of how it's, obviously it's a Finnish brand. I'm going to ruin that bit for everybody now.
But I've changed my script now.
But how it's sort of got to be over here in the UK, where else it sells into. Just give us a sort of intro to anybody that hasn't heard of Mirka.
In the UK, Mirka's been around for about 46 years. It started in the UK in 1979, and it was the first daughter company from the original parent company, which is the Mirka Group, or KWH Group, as you'll see in a lot of advertisements. The first one started in the UK, first daughter company in 1979. Then 1980, we had another daughter company open up in Germany. And then a number of years after that, we've had about 16 or 17 additional daughter companies kind of get added to that family of different brands. And it started out originally producing the Abranet discs, and then it moved on to power tools. So a lot of people recognize us for the Deros, the Seros, which was the predecessor, and then the dust extraction equipment. And I don't recall the full history, but if you go to Finland, they've got some of the original working models of the Seros that is still fully functioning. It's over 30 years old, and everything works seamlessly. And as a result of that, or since then, the companies kind of continue to develop into more and more abrasives and general grinding discs, anything that fits in the abrasives category.
Yeah, because I remember it was something for sanding ceilings.
Yes, we had the predecessor to the Leros was the one called the Myros,
and it can extend out.
Correct,
as well. Like I remember looking at this thing and thinking, it's going to be really heavy. It was super light.
Yeah.
Easy to manoeuvre. And I mean, for people that aren't in that sort of line of work, I mean, what's the aim of the brand? What type of products? Who are you trying to target? Like, give us a bit of like information from that side.
You'll have to stop me if I talk for too much on this, because it's a pretty big topic. So the company's whole kind of ethics and ethos is that we design products that have a purpose, because with a lot of manufacturing companies, they can create A, B, and C versions of products that don't necessarily fit a certain purpose. They're not designed with any intent. It's more or less designed as an additional product to the portfolio of their range. Whereas with Mirka, every product is designed for a specific reason. So we've got a range of discs, for example, that are designed for automotive. And within the car industry, a lot of car manufacturers will use just that disc because it's primarily designed for the surfaces and the materials that you'd get on a car.
And is that for like refinishing and
Correct, yeah. Then goes into two different categories. One is the actual refinishing of cars, which in our company we call it collision repair. And that will be anything like if you get a scratch or a dent and it needs to be buffed out, you'd go to a body shop, and 9 out of 10 body shops will be using Mirka products.
Okay.
Whether that's discs or abrasives or the tooling. But then we also have a transport and industry side of the company within the sales team that do the kind of creation of new cars. So when they build a new Ferrari or build a new Rolls Royce, for example, they may use some Mirka products within that starting process.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then within the decorative side, which is
because it's quite like the sort of where you guys are putting products is quite varied. I mean, if I was sort of listening or watching, I'd be thinking, oh, well, painting and decorating. But then you've got car refin.
It's so what a company does is we market out into 4 separate kind of sectors. One is collision repair, which is sometimes known as automotive, but it's collision repair, and that will be your body shops. Then we have a wood sector, which will be just manufacturing of wood. So that'll be chairs, tables, coffins, you name it. If it's manufactured with wood, it goes to that category. Then we have transport and industry, which is planes, trains, automobiles, anything created that is a vehicle. You also have a subsector within that, which is marine, which will be anything like speedboats, princess yachts, any large boat, basically. And then you have construction and decoration, which is, that would be where the P&D show comes in.
Yeah, that's what I, if I saw your brand, it's always in the sort of trade and industry side. It's not, you don't really see the other places that you're putting products into. Yeah. Which is quite interesting because, I mean, like princess yachts, they're great, these things. So I never would have put the product with there.
No.
I mean, which is the largest segment for you guys, or which is primarily your
would be the collision repair side. Collision repair is probably a good 50% of the business, and then the remaining 50 would be split unevenly between wood, transport and industry, and construction.
And are you making the power tools for that as well as the abrasive discs and stuff?
So we're the only manufacturer in the world that makes the abrasives and the power tools, and that's one of the things that people look for in Mirka, is that they kind of expect
all-in-one solution.
Specialist, all-in-one solution. We make both, so you're guaranteed to get good service from both tools, abrasives and the discs.
Okay, and I mean, so we've got a little brief history of the company and the products that you sell. How did you yourself come to end up in Mirka? I mean, give us sort of like a brief sort of introduction to what you do, what your role is there, and how you actually came to, because everybody's journey into some of these brands, I speak to some people and they're like, well, I was a marine biologist, and then all of a sudden I ended up here. Yeah. So give us a brief background on you as well.
Prior to this, and prior to my kind of step into the construction world, so to speak, I used to work in the home and gift trade. I used to sell, most people, whenever they see me, they say, Yankee candles. Because I sold Yankee candles for about 5 years, and I led the business development team in the UK.
My wife would like that. She'd be like, oh, can you ask him for Yankee?
I can talk for hours about it. We'll do a separate podcast another time. Yeah. And after I left that, I joined a varnish and coatings company, just because it sounded interesting. It was a variety of products, and it's the sort of thing that is everywhere, but you never look into it in that much depth to understand it. Yeah. And I was there for about just over 4.5 years, and by chance, I went to an event that was put on by Dulux Academy, and it was an open house event over in Slough. And I went there more or less as part of my job. We were there to make sure we were networking correctly and get more intelligence on the business and work out what we could do. And by chance, I sat on a table and I was talking to a guy that was sat next to me. Didn't know who he was, never seen him before, never had a prior conversation. And just through 20 minutes of talking, and I was gradually thinking, he seems quite nice. He's, I was laughing at his jokes, he was laughing at my jokes, etc., etc. And then we were actually talking about jobs. And it turned out that the job I was currently doing at that employer was the job that they were trying to get somebody to fill in their role. And I thought, okay, this sounds interesting. But as you know, if you go to any type of networking thing, there's always somebody that says, I've got a job for you. And you think, right, I'll never hear anything back. They're just saying it. Yeah. And it was such a good, positive conversation. The guy I'm talking about is Pete Sartain, who was our national sales manager for the whole industrial side.
Yeah. Is he still with the business?
He is. Yeah, he's still with it. And there isn't much about abrasives he doesn't know. Fully knowledgeable guy.
How long has he been with the business, Pete?
Over 10 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very long time. I couldn't tell you the exact number, but it would be a long time. And from that conversation, a couple other conversations had, interview, and then I was appointed as business development manager for the construction side, which for anyone listening, if they want to know what that means, is basically looking for new avenues to sell the product into. So within the construction market, our kind of route to market will be builders, merchants, paint shops. Generally, if they sell paint,
would you supply into hire? Is there a hire market?
That's something I was looking into. Yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one, that, because with hire, it's quite a high cost for the tooling, and you're not necessarily sure that you'll get a good investment on it. Yeah. And also, you have to
service the product.
Service. Yeah, there's the expectation that the customers will return it in a working condition. Yeah. The reality is, if you've borrowed it or you've hired it,
how much, if you were to walk into, I don't know, like a painting and decorating store to buy one of these sanders for the ceiling, what's a typical cost of one of these? Because people are saying, oh, well, how come you can't hire one? But if it's like £10,000 for a unit or something like that, I mean.
So from the hand sanding range, which would be like your Mirka Deros, Mirka Dios, all the way up to the wall and ceiling sanders, which would be your Leros. The kits range from about 600 plus to £1,000. Yeah. So they're not too far, but they are an investment. Yeah.
I mean, what's one of the more expensive products? What's the most expensive that you can think of? That's the top of your head?
We do.
I think some people, when they're in trades, they never think about how much a product is until they've got to go and buy one, and then when they look, they go, "Oh, it's crazy money." But actually, when somebody explains, well, you can do this, 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 and this, and it's going to save you this amount of time, people suddenly go, "Actually, it's not that much money, really, if I'm going to save that much time." So,
yeah. It's not and that money pays off because you're saving time on everything else. But
is it more expensive for products, say, in the automotive than?
No, they use roughly the same products. They'll use generally the same abrasives, a few different abrasives. The tools, the Deros, the dust extractor, generally be the same. It's just they'll use them for a different purpose. It's kind of like if I had a butcher's knife, I'd cut some things at home, but a professional chef would use it to cook food for millionaires, for example. It's the same tool, just a different purpose.
Okay. I mean, in terms of Mirka then, I mean, you don't have to give us the exact numbers, but how big, just give people a sense of the size of the company. How many territories are you selling into? And
so within the UK, we've got altogether UK employment, I think, is about 55 to 65. Yeah. Included in that is a sales team. One is an automotive specific team and the other is an industrial team, and they've probably got about 15 people in each one, give or take, and that will be a salesperson in every region from north to south. I think the further south we have a salesperson will be just outside Plymouth, and then we've got salespeople all the way up to Scotland and Ireland.
Yeah. I mean, worldwide,
there is 17
it's
daughter
testing
companies.
The knowledge now, isn't it?
So we got Mirka France, Germany, Italy, Spain, Brazil, Poland, Dubai. Yeah, there's a lot. We probably have it in excess of 1,500.
Right. And what's the size of the company turnover wise? Is it because we had? Do you remember when we had Dave from Nipex on? He was told, whatever you do, don't talk about financials, but he was saying, I can't remember the exact number, but Nipex obviously do stuff for plumbers and plumbing pliers and stuff like that. And I think, was it something ridiculous, like 200,000 or 2 million sets or 20 million sets? I can't remember what it was. It was some ridiculous number of these like plumber's wrench type plier
I've seen
things.
Nipex tools, I got a couple.
And I was like, honestly, that's how many, and he's like, that's how many we make in a year. I was like, wow. It was unbelievable. Yeah, that's so I'm always when you might go, oh, well, Mirka's turnover is 200 million, just to put it into perspective for people, because I don't think some people they see these brands, and when we have them on, sometimes they think you're bigger than you are. Other times they go, wow, I didn't realize, like 17 territories where you've got in essence actual businesses. The companies is pretty global.
To put it this way, if you were to go into any reputable hardware or paint shop in the UK, they're probably selling Mirka. Yeah.
I mean, in the UK, have you got any competitors who you go up against?
We have. we don't necessarily always like to view them as competitors. We always view them as other manufacturers of the products.
Yeah.
So
everybody's always got a competitor, I think.
Yeah, I think the most well-known and well-respected in our industry would be the likes of Festool.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they're quite well-known. They do kind of woodworking tools and sanding equipment, so they kind of cross two fields.
Yeah.
And then within the construction side that I work under, I suppose Indasa would be classed as one of our competitors as well. So they're quite well-known, and you'll find with a lot of tradespeople, they have a preference. They either like the way the tool feels, or they like the branding or the logos, and as a result, they kind of build up their arsenal of tools based on just that. Yeah. So I'd say, those would be the main two.
Okay, because you saying Festool now, actually, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I wouldn't have put it, and then you think, actually, I could.
But then that is only in the construction side. Yeah. If you were to go into the marine side, it would be someone like 3M. Yeah. Or if you were to go into the transport side, it would be other companies that I'm not even familiar with. Yeah,
I think that's probably where your uniqueness as a brand comes in, because, like you say, you're doing both sides. You're doing the power tools and the abrasives, which not many people do. They might do the one or the other. Like 3M's just the abrasives, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think with a lot of it, people end up getting attached because they know that the tools are good and the abrasives are good. And we always find people use Mirka and Mirka, or we find other people use another brand and Mirka, or another customer might use Mirka and someone else, just because they like certain aspects of Mirka, but due to budgets or something else, they might go for another brand if they don't have the money at the time. Yeah. And then, but a lot of the time, you'll always find decorators are looking forward to buying Mirka. Like you mentioned at the start with the painting and decorating show,
they were really thirsty for the Mirka. Honestly, it always amazes me that there's certain brands. When you go to these shows, there's so many exhibition like exhibitors there, and you think, that one's really empty and that one, but there's always some there that are always, like 5 or 6 people deep, and the demonstrations of products. But the thing, like I said to you, that I looked at with Mirka is you pick the product up and it feels great. Yeah. The branding looks good, the colours, you instantly recognise it. But I remember some of the product demos and people were showing me, obviously, the telescopic, and it's much lighter, so when you work it, obviously there's less strain on your shoulder and stuff like that. Yeah. And it always fascinates me when I see just how excited people get for particular brands at these shows. Yeah,
it's a spectacle. I think one of the things our company does really well with those shows, though, is we try and make it quite immersive. You'll go to a lot of other exhibitors and they might have just a table with a cloth
and some sweets on it.
Yeah. I think we need to do that next year. We'll see about that. But they always have just a fairly minimalist or basic setup. But with ours, it's almost you walk in and you're at the Mirka stand, and it's exactly where it is.
Am I right in remembering that you've got on one of these sanding machines that you can literally take the actual abrasive off on the one end of the pad and then turn it over, and it's got a different? Is that? Am I?
So we do products like that, but they wouldn't be attached to the tools.
What did I see?
So we do have some sanding sponges that are double-sided. Yeah. That could be it. But we don't have any discs that you could switch.
There was something that he was doing with the disc on the end, the guy that was demonstrating it. Because you filmed it.
It was a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
Painting and decorating.
And the guy had the... Yeah. And obviously the head tilts on the...
Yeah, the Laros. Yeah.
I'm trying to remember. It was a while, but I honestly, this is the strength of a brand, is when you still remember from 3 years ago, 2 years ago, when you go on and you actually remember the demos, because the guy gave me a whole demo on different products and stuff like that.
Did you buy one after?
I didn't, because I wouldn't use it. But honestly, when you some stands you go on and you watch and you go. Because what was the other one that I went on where you had that cling film thing that you had to do, and I failed miserably?
The carpet.
I think that was probably 3M or somebody like that, wasn't it? But the Mirka stand, when you go on there, the guys are super knowledgeable about the product, and you look at the product, and I feel like you're getting your money's worth. I couldn't tell you because I've never physically used one, but just the demos and what they did, and the time that it would take, and he was showing, well, this does this and this does that, and I'm thinking, if you're using these every day, you've got to invest in your tools to actually do a better job with a better finish. But I'm waffling away. So what I want to come back to is, so the brand now. I mean, where does the company wish to go? What's the future for Mirka? Is there anything that you guys want to diversify into, or you think actually that looks quite a good industry and we haven't touched that yet? Is there any plan from you guys into?
I suppose two bits that I'm aware of on that. One is we're trying to look at getting a bit more into the retail market. So as you mentioned, P&D show decorators, tradesmen, contractors, they know Mirka. They see the branding, they see the logo, they see the tools. They know it. They know it's going to be reliable, hard-working tools. Simple as that. We don't so much have as great coverage in the general consumer. For example, if I asked my brother who Mirka was, he wouldn't have a clue. I still don't think he knows what I do for a living. But that aside, so we'd like to get into a bit more of the retail side.
Like the B&Qs and...
Yeah, maybe B&Q, maybe another company, or maybe we'll see kind of what's around. And then also, a lot of people are interested now in cordless technology.
Yeah.
So there's going to be some investment into that and finding out how we can make effective tools cordlessly.
Yeah. I mean, that's the only issue, I think, when something takes a lot of power.
Yes.
And you've got to use it for an extended period of time. It's like, no disrespect to some of the big power tool brands.
Yeah.
Some products are done really well where they're cordless, and then others you think, I've got through 5 or 6 batteries here, and I'm still not even halfway through the job. So it's getting that balance right.
It's a catch with them because the first thing you think of when you think of a cordless tool will be like a cordless drill.
Yeah.
But what you'll do with the drill is you'll have a fully charged battery. You might drill 5 holes.
Yeah, and then put it down.
Yeah, exactly. And you assume that the life is kind of lengthened. Whereas when you've got a sander that is battery powered, you're drawing all of the energy from the battery for 20, 30, 40 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it dies. But you have fully drained that battery.
Yeah.
The catch you have with cordless is that the tools itself cost, but then the batteries cost a lot. And if you want a longer lasting battery, it then increases in the weight because of the battery cells. Then it's more expensive and the recharge time is longer. So it really is a fine balance.
A lot of trade-offs. Yeah.
We've introduced a new cordless sander into a range about a month ago. It's called the Mirka Aeros B. And it's like a 77mm head that you can use for kind of, if you're sanding a windowsill outside. We've had decorators say that they're always up scaffolding and they can't take
the bigger ones.
Exactly. So they like a cordless model for that. But the rest of it is going to be kind of in development.
Yeah. Okay. So that's somewhere where you see the brand moving more into and bringing out more product.
Yeah, I'd say those two within the product side, but then also the company is taking a very strong stance in sustainability at the moment. Because we're, as you can imagine, everybody out there is aware of waste and things like that, and the company is looking at ways we can either eliminate waste or make use of waste abrasive wise. So there's a few exciting things coming up for that.
All good. Good. What else do you think I should touch on?
Well, I was going to ask, because you've touched on the battery technology, and how that can keep evolving. Is there much new territory to ground to break with the technology of the actual sander, or is it kind of?
I think that goes in hand with the batteries, because you sort of move stuff on there.
No, I get your point. As in, like, because at the moment with the tools, we either have them as a rotary, which is just one direction,
or orbital,
or random orbit, where it does like a figure of 8 and spins. Are you asking kind of, is there any way we could improve?
Or can you sort of reinvent the wheel to a degree, or is the technology, is it kind of set now? Or is most of the development going to come through, let's say, weight and power?
Yeah.
Weight and power. I mean, you could improve, or you could change the way that the sanding gets done, but performance-wise and end result-wise, you wouldn't notice much difference. If they changed it from a random orbit to another pattern, you'd still look for, I want the surface to be smooth at the end of it.
Yeah. I mean, with the sanders and stuff like that, because you see Hilti's done that exoskeleton.
Correct, yeah.
Is there anything that you guys have done or are thinking about doing where you can attach it and, you know, so it takes the weight off the
Yeah,
upper body or stuff like that.
we don't so much have anything like that, mainly because with the Leros, which is our wall and ceiling sander, it's already designed to be quite light and ergonomic. So when you've got it on and you've got it at a reasonable speed, you don't feel the weight. So we've almost negated the need to actually create anything to bear the weight. Our previous model, the Myra, did have like a waist belt that you'd connect the sander to, and it would give you an additional level of support. But because the tool's already too light in a way, there's no need for additional support on it.
Right, okay. I mean, is there anything else you wanted to drop in, like product-wise or anything like that I haven't asked? Because I know sometimes, like, I'll sit there and I'll be like, I'll move on to something else, and I don't want to be like, and you go, oh, I didn't talk about.
No, I think the biggest creations we've had in the last year would be this cordless sander we've just released, the Eros B, and also we've just launched a brand new dust extractor called the Dexos, which is superb. I should have bought one in, to be fair. It's lighter, it's ergonomic, it's designed for decorators, and we've had very good feedback on it. We did an initial launch in November last year, and as you can imagine, with any new tool or new technology, you get a level of teething problems. We had some, we resolved them, we relaunched it about a month ago, and the feedback has been great. Everybody that's used it said it's lighter, it's quieter, it's got 2 plug sockets in, so you can run your power tool and you can also charge your phone or run a radio from it. Yeah, it's a super bit of kit.
Yeah, people love stuff as well. I mean, we used to do products where there was a built-in speaker, there's a light in it, and then you've got your power bank function in there. And people love that because they're like, well, actually, I don't have to take a site radio in now.
Yeah.
I can just take this with the light, put the light on, hang it up somewhere, and you've killed 2 birds with 1 stone type of thing.
Yeah, the coolest thing we've got on it is if you've got an old Mirka extractor, you'd have the extractor and then you'd have a bag to carry the hose and the power cable and everything else. The new extractor has a lid, so you open the lid and everything fits inside. Yeah. So you can just roll on site with your extractor. You don't need to carry anything else. It's all inside.
Loads easier.
Yeah.
I mean, in terms of like emptying the extractors and stuff like that, how does that work? Because
that bit, it's actually quite funny you mention that, because the old extractor, it had 2 clips underneath, and you'd unclip them, lift it off, and ironically, you wouldn't think about it, but the bottom of the extractor wasn't flat, so when you put it on the floor, it would kind of rock from side to side.
Right.
The new one, when you release the clips and put it down, it's actually got 4 legs on there.
So it sits flush.
Correct. Yeah. And it's a minor detail, but when you're changing the bag, you're just like, right, put it. It seems so simple and sensible. Yeah.
But this is the great thing about when you're designing products, is over the years you can sort of fine tune something, and then eventually when you get to a certain, you're like, why didn't I never, it was like you say, it was so simple, and all we've done is just done that, and then people feedback and say it's so much better.
Yeah, it's like the on the back of the new dust extractor, it's got a little brake pedal, and one of the designers that was working on the Dexos used to work for a kids pram manufacturing company.
So that's coming
from
there.
And it's the same as that.
The foot, where you just push down. Okay.
Yeah, the old extractor before that had little brakes on each wheel that you'd have to manually change by hand, which is a bit of
trying
a
nuisance. To get down, a bit like caster wheels.
Yes, spot on.
Pain in the arse. so that's good. I mean, anything else you think I should?
Do the products have a sort of shelf time life where they're out for 5 years, 10 years, and then they're sort of quietly retired?
No. In short, with a lot of that sort of thing, we never design a tool so that it can be replaced dead easily, but we will upgrade tools. So last year we had upgrades to the major tools, the Mirka Dios family, and a couple others all had an increased battery life for some of the cordless models, a 20% stronger motor in the Gen 2 models, and the button formation and LED lights were added. So they've got a different layout, which makes it easier to use, and the LED lights make it easier to actually gauge the speed. Because previously you'd just have a green light and a red light, and you'd press go, go, go until it changed color. whereas the new one gives you 8 LEDs that you can indicate which speed you're at. Makes it much easier.
Yeah. So you're not second guessing.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
I like that. I mean, what we tend to do roundabout now is we sort of give you, like, we can say to you, you can either shamelessly plug the company or whatever, or you can give some advice to other people, or you can tell us something that we didn't know about the business to the listeners. So you can sort of, it's up to you what you want to do. It's a bit like a Jerry Springer final thought type of thing.
Oh, jeez.
But say if you're at trade shows or anything like that, you've got anything coming up that you want to, because this will probably go out in about 3 or 4 weeks' time, is if you've got any trade shows or you're launching any new products further down the line, or where can people find your products and stuff like that, which I think you've sort of touched on a bit.
The best thing to include for that is demonstrations, basically. And by that I mean, if you go to the painting and decorating show, you'll see our tools, you'll see every model we have for that sector and get to experience it. But what we do with our whole sales team is, if you're Jack the decorator and lives in Torquay, or you live in East Sussex or somewhere that is not geographically a good idea to drive that far, you can actually go to your local decorating store or your builder's merchant and ask them, can I get a demo with a Mirka tool? And they'll contact somebody on our sales team. Somebody on our sales team will reach back out and actually let you use the tools on site for an hour or 2 hours or however long you want. And then if you're interested, we can have another conversation. If not, you've got to use a tool for a few hours. And we've had really, really, really good feedback from that, because the number of times we're talking an expensive tool, £600 to £1,000. You don't really want to just buy that
and then realise it's not right for you.
Yeah, and you don't feel great about it. But if you'd seen a Deros, for example, and you wanted to try it out, you can contact us and say, actually, Mirka, I'd like to try it out. And we will get someone in the sales team to give you a call, and you can actually go on site and use it.
Yeah.
That's one of the strongest things we do, and our competitors don't do that.
Yeah. I wonder why.
Yeah.
I mean, if you like you say, you're not going to... Some people will just walk straight in because they'll watch YouTube videos and they go, that's exactly what I need. But then other people will be like, I don't want to spend that money unless I get to hold it. I mean, is there any... Obviously, you do the painting and decorating show. Is there any other shows that people can come and see you then for this year? I mean, even if it's not in like painting and decorating and you've got customers in the automotive, I mean, shows that you do for automotive, so anything that you're going to be at yourself?
The next big one really is quite a spectacle to see, is the Southampton Boat Show in September. Okay. That's worth a visit. It always attracts quite a high-class clientele. As you can imagine, it's boats. And you can get to see a lot of the team in the marine and the transport side. They can talk to you about what type of abrasives are used on boats. That's really interesting, because you'll get everyone from cruise ship owners and teams all the way down to speedboat manufacturers. Yeah. And it's a real variety. Yeah. It's almost an unusual place to go to, because you'd go expecting to see fancy boats, and then Mirka are also there. Yeah.
No, that's not, well, yeah, I wouldn't have expected that. Like the thing is as well is a lot of the people that watch this are into, like, they'll be into cars or fixing up cars, or they'll, they might have a boat.
Yeah.
So it's quite good having you on, because those are things that, even plumbers, sparkies, plasterers.
The last one, funnily enough, installer show, I think a couple of our team had gone to just investigate and have a look around.
I think that'd be a good, because we had Lucy on, who runs all the social media for Installer. That's okay. So you can see the little sticker there, and she mentioned that in the future, I think it's gonna branch out, and it will be painters, decorators. There will be probably plasterers there. There's going to be, judging by probably you going there as well recently, I think that the show will grow into being all-encompassing trade show. Yeah. And I think that would probably be somewhere where your products, will be suited in the future, because they've gone from just being for plumbers to having electricians, and now there's quite a large contingent of heating and ventilation, isn't there, HVAC? So, I think in the future it'll be a good show, and I think that's a good idea, because then you get everybody under one roof.
It does make it easier.
Yeah. You haven't got to go and do 15 or 16 different shows, have you, to go and...
I mean, no objection. Shows are good fun.
Yeah. Gets you out of the office. Don't tell the boss. But yeah, is there anything else?
Do you work with any influencers or people on social media?
Oh, good question. We don't so we support some, but we don't have like paid partnerships with them. Where we've got a couple that we'll let them know we've got new products come out, and the sales team will get in touch with them to let them know. But we don't have like a specific brand ambassador that if you see James, he is the Mirka ambassador. We don't have anyone like that.
The Mirka man.
Yeah, there's a few companies that have a prolific ambassador and everybody knows them, but we don't have one like that at this stage. We might do in the future. Yeah,
you're supplying to quite a few. It's trying to find people, because obviously if you work with certain people, you want the most from it. So it's trying to find somebody that potentially could, reach not just one.
It would be nice if they could reach 2 markets. That would be a good idea. But then you also have to consider kind of what they're going to bring, and I wouldn't say you don't know what their motives are, but you don't know who's going to be a good representative for your business.
Yeah. Anything else?
No, I was quite interested in the social media and how you use social media to get your products out there, because the one thing I noticed at Installer is that there's a lot of certain familiar faces that always you see at certain stalls, and it becomes ingrained in your head that you associate person A with product A.
Yes.
I just wondered how you use, if at all, social media.
We use it in the way of a lot of sharing not sharing information, but sharing content. So we find a lot of decorators that are pretty good on Instagram, because you don't so much, if you're a professional painter or contractor or builder, you don't so much have a website that people go to nowadays. You just type them into Instagram and you look at their work and you think, okay, it looks like he does a good job or she does a good job. And a lot of the time we will find people tag us because they enjoy it. They like using the Mirka products, and they'll say, you know what, I'm sanding down this wall today. I'm going to take a photo of it and I'm going to do a video and I'm going to tag Mirka UK in it. And we share that content and we put it onto our story and everything else. And you get a huge level of respect, because if you're a customer and you've spent a lot of money on a tool and you're using it, and the company's just kind of boosted you out there on their page, it's brilliant. What more could you ask for?
Yeah. I think it also creates like a brand affiliation. So people buy into the brand. I there's so many products I use every day, and I tell people all the time. And I'm sure if I was on social working with them and then just posting my work and saying, look at this and look at the finish from this, I'd probably tag a few brands in as well.
Yeah.
Just want to say a big thank you to Rhino Trade Insurance, who are now our official insurance partner. And to go hand in hand with that, they have given us a cheeky little discount code across all of their policies. So when you are filling out a form online and trying to get a quote or speaking with a team member, all you have to do is give the code TRADELEGENDS to get an exclusive discount across all of their policies. I just want to say, because obviously where have you come from today? Bristol.
Bristol.
Yeah. So I just want to say thank you very much for.
You're welcome.
For travelling all the way up, because it's not a short journey.
No. It's I had 2 choices. I could either go north on the M5 and reach here, or I could go south and go to Glastonbury.
Wow.
No comments.
Yeah. Probably would have had a better time there, wouldn't it?
I saw when I left my house, I put the sat nav on and everything else, and it comes up with your ETA. Yeah. And I think that the opposite direction was just red.
Yeah. Everybody driving down. I wouldn't like to be stuck in that traffic. But no, thank you very much for coming on, and
you're welcome.
Wish Mirka all the best for the future.